there either. And I work for a company called Chantel, and I don't know if we may not service exactly your area, but it's a telecommunications ISP, and we service a lot of West Virginia. So I am in and around that area a lot, traveling through there. It's a beautiful, beautiful country.
Yeah, I just changed my internet service provider because I was frustrated with Optimum. So
Oh, you weren't getting connection, Holly? I remember your connection always breaks up, but it looks really
right.
good.
We'll see how it goes. We'll evaluate this.
Who are you on now?
T-Mobile.
T-Mo. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
But I'm game for Chantel.
Yeah, I just don't know if we service your area, so we may just not be in that specific part of West Virginia. So, which is too bad, but
All right, folks, are we ready to get started? All right, awesome. Well, welcome. This is our summer quarterly meeting. It seems like, I don't know about you, but the year has been flying by for me already.
oh yeah.
And tonight we're going to follow similar format as we have in the past. We will do a fun icebreaker that Tina's going to lead us through and have introductions. And if anyone knows of any tech events coming up, we'd ask that you can announce those. And we're also going to talk about our impact. We continue to try to increase our giving goal each quarter. And we continue to do that. We haven't met our most recent goal yet, so we're anxious to try to do that this quarter. And then we're going to hear from two nonprofits, Charlottesville Women in Tech and Girls in Tech San Francisco. And then finally, but not least, we're going to listen to Megan's presentation on empowering the future of streaming TV. And to get started, let's do some introductions. I, again, am Holly Clark. I will say, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I have currently 4 different businesses and 2 nonprofits. I stay very busy, but I like it that way. And Tina will introduce herself when she introduces us to the icebreaker. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Tina.
Hi, I'm Tina Baugh, and I am the Senior Director now. This slide, I need to update the slide. I'm sorry, Harley, remind me to do that. I'm the Senior Director of Information Technology, basically the equivalent of a Chief Technology Officer for creative testing solutions. If you've ever donated blood or know someone who's donated blood, our organization safeguards the nation's blood and plasma supply. So those organizations where you donate blood or your friends donate blood don't actually do their own testing. Our organization does all the testing for the nation. So it's a fantastic opportunity, and I really love my work. And if you're ever interested in learning more about healthcare IT, give me a jingle. Love what I do. So the icebreaker today.
That's for sure.
Yeah,
so you're definitely the gal for that. You know everything there is to know about IT and healthcare. I don't think I've ever met another person who quite does it like you, Tina. She even has a YouTube channel too, just so you know.
I do.
Let's just drop that in. She is.
Yeah, YouTube channel. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're gonna play a little icebreaker. Hopefully you all will be able to hear some sounds off of my computer, and you can unmute yourself, holler them out, or you can throw them in the chat. Would love to hear you. So we're gonna see if everybody's as old as me, which you're not, just a hint. But we'll see. So the sounds of IT. Let's see how many you get. All right, are you ready? Let's see if I'm gonna turn up my sound just a little bit and see if you can hear it. Let me know if you hear it. Here we go.
Couldn't hear it.
Couldn't hear it?
Everything's working.
Okay. Let me go back just a little bit and let me share. If I share this, let me see if I can share the sound here. Let me see if I can share computer audio, share. Holly, do you think you could stop sharing?
Oh, sure. Sorry.
We're in technology. We can figure this out.
Well, we might need to all mic. It might be competing with our mics, Tina.
Might be. Here we go. You ready? Here we go.
Yep.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. You couldn't hear it?
Windows startup
Yep.
screen.
Which Windows?
Oh.
An older one.
Windows 95.
Oh, Windows 95. There you go. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Here's the next one.
Yeah.
What was that one?
Sounds like a dial-up.
At the very end, it was dial up. I didn't stop it fast enough. What was it? What was it before that? Did you get that one?
Windows something, maybe.
Can you play it again?
Can you play it again?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go.
Is that a gaming console? Is it Apple? Is it the old Apple? No.
Windows shutdown sound.
So
Super
close.
familiar.
Windows 98.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
Ah. Okay, here we
Okay.
go. You ready?
Yeah.
Some of you weren't even doing computers on Windows 98. You don't even remember that. Here we go.
That's definitely the dial-up, modem dial-up. Can't miss that.
Definitely the dial-up, right? How many of you even remembered the dial-up?
Not me, for sure. Yeah.
I said Windows 95. I was born in 95, Tina, so it was a good guess.
Yeah. Martha, you're right. That's the AOL dial.
You've got mail.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
You got mail. That's right. Let's see if we can't get
Also a good
to.
movie.
Let me see if I can't get us to one more. I'll send y'all the link to this video just so you can play around with your friends.
In a galaxy far, far away.
Galaxy, there's an old one.
I don't know.
Oh no.
Sony, the old Sony.
Oh,
Very
you
old
know,
stuff.
when he said Galaxy, I was thinking Samsung, but no, Sony.
This is old Sony, old Sony. It's like all these sounds from so long ago, right? And we're not that old. But the technology has been around for so long and it's changed so much. Like if you think of our parents' technology, right? So the rotary phone or the phone with the hook and right, and grandparents' technology, right? The technology that they had, like I know when my dad first saw and used, he tells me the first time he used an electric pencil sharpener, like that was a big deal. He still has his very first, thing that they used in order to do the calculations in calculus, right? It wasn't a calculator. When they first got a calculator, he was like, and then in high school, when we had to have, what was that calculator, that smart calculator we had to have, like T3, you know,
95.
Yeah, like the stats. No.
95.
yeah, the statistical calculator, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, what the heck? And all of that. Do you remember the very first typewriter that wasn't really a typewriter? It was also a word processor, right? All that's been in the last 25, 30 years. It's
Crazy.
mind-blowing. Can you imagine in another 30 years?
No.
Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine in 10.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
It's just mind-blowing. I love what we
Like
do.
AI right now, it's pretty wild to go
We
to
have the
consider
best jobs.
Windows 95 dial up and go to AI blockchain. There's just such a tremendous difference.
Yeah. We have the best jobs. The best jobs. It's so fun. So
All
anyway,
right.
that's your icebreaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's see how we're doing on time. 7:11. Can we don't have too many people on the line. Let's go ahead and do quick introductions. Megan, do you want to go ahead?
Which Megan?
Megan Gregg, you.
Hey, Megan. Okay. Well, it's wonderful to see everyone and to meet a few new faces today. I am involved in the technology sphere a little bit differently than maybe some of you are. I'm considered an investor and entrepreneur. So I mainly invest into a lot of tech-based startups, applicably a few in the AI space is where my passion really lies, as well as in blockchain and other arenas. I have a strong passion for just really anything innovative and impactful. So for me, I'm kind of driven by what is going to bring future impact for our children, our children's children. I don't have kids yet, but I do hope one day when I do that, they have opportunities that are much larger than what I have today. And they still have a great planet to live on and good people to enjoy it with. So that's kind of a little bit about me. I would say I'm going to popcorn it. Why not? We're all in here. So I would love to hear from the other Megan. She's actually our speaker tonight.
Cool.
Well, thank you, Megan. I've been running into this quite a bit lately. My junior league there, I think there are 5 Megans. So that's very
Oh,
confusing.
my
Yeah,
goodness.
it was a busy Megan season. I'm probably a bit older than you, but mine was as well. So I'm Megan Wagoner. My day job is at Endeavor Streaming. I lead media and entertainment for a direct-to-consumer streaming provider, and we power all of the large streaming services globally in sports and M&E. I also have a very big passion and desire to help foster diversity in this area and also in other areas where there are fewer women. So I spend a lot of time, I'm on the board of a group called Women in Streaming Media, so just a little more specific than this one. And I also am co-chair of our ERG called AVID, which is Allies of Visible and Invisible Disabilities, and then Junior League. So I was doing all these things remotely and then realized that there's actually some help that needs to be done here, where I live. So the civic stuff is fun because I can see people in person. So thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, Megan, you're welcome to popcorn your next person.
All right, I'm sorry because I'm just gonna look down and let's see. How about Joan?
Hey everybody, my name is Joan. I currently work as head of development for a company called Inhabit that builds software in the property management space. And let's see, what other questions did you guys ask?
Just about you.
Just me in general. Okay.
Yeah.
I am also pretty passionate about diversity in tech. Have don't necessarily have a huge amount of time, but do try to invest where I can in organizations that that are supporting people who do have more time than I have. So have been very excited to be part of this group. Haven't been able to attend the last couple of sessions, so was glad I was able to make it this time and look forward to hearing more.
Us too. Us too. You'd be surprised in the summer. There's so much going on. So many people have, their kids at home, or who knows, they're picking up another role. They're having babies. All sorts of things are going on right now. So we're just really happy that you're able to make it with us today. So thanks so much, Joan. You're welcome to pick your next gal.
Let's see. Elaine.
Hi, thank you. I'm Elaine Chang, and I am a board member of Charlottesville Women in Tech, and we are excited to present our investment opportunity to you tonight. Thank you so much. I'm a volunteer, as all of Charlottesville Women in Tech members are, just like the rest of you. My day job is a chief information officer at a telecommunications company based in Virginia and servicing about 4 states. So excited to meet everyone here tonight. Thank you for having us. I will popcorn to, let's see, Adriana.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, I'm just going in and out. We're having some issues here at home at our house with construction. So that's why I'm unfortunately have to hop off in 15 minutes. But it's nice to meet everyone. I'm the CEO and founder of Girls in Tech. We're an international organization that is dedicated to eliminating the gender gap in tech. We are in 36 cities. We just added our 36th city. I was in India and Pune recently where we launched, which was extremely exciting for the first day. And 11 days after that, I was very, very sick. So those days were not fun. And we have over 130,000 active members, and we're really focused on programming and making sure that we empower the next generation of women in STEM so that they can succeed and thrive in their careers. So it's really nice to meet everyone, and thanks for having me.
Thanks, Adriana.
And popcorn to Janine.
Hi, everyone. My name is Janine Niblock, and I'm the owner of a Salesforce consulting business. So I have 8 women on my team, and I am living this day in and day out. I have a huge passion for gender equality in tech. And so, yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I love this group, and I'm so glad that I made it today. So thanks for having me.
Thanks, Janine.
Oh, and I'll popcorn to Kim.
Hi, I'm Kim Wilkins. I'm one of the founding board members of Charlottesville Women in Tech, and we're very excited to be here, obviously. I'm also Education and Outreach Director at the University of Virginia School of Education, and I do a lot of work in computer science education and trying to bridge gender gaps in that arena. And I am soon to be co-founding educational robotics company.
Ooh, nice.
Cool. So it's exciting.
Thanks, Kim.
Let's see who hasn't gone. Eileen, are you there?
Hello.
Hi, Eileen.
Hi, I'm Eileen Krepkovich. So I am president and one of the co-founders of Charlottesville Women in Tech. And as Kim said, we're excited to be here. It was great to hear about this group. And so my day job, I'm a senior research scientist at a small company that does medical device development. And so we do wearable sensors, patient monitoring, and some video game rehab. And love my job. It's really get to do a lot of fun things. But I'm one of 2 women engineers at my company. So 10 years ago, actually, is when we started up Women in Tech, and you'll hear more about that in Elaine's talk. But yeah, pretty, also pretty passionate about the equality thing, and I have a lot of just, personal motivation to see if we can find more women who are interested in tech. All right,
Awesome.
let me see, Martha.
Hello, Martha Engel. I am not actually a technologist myself, but I work for, I've been in the fintech space for the last 20 years as an HR professional. So my job has been to find all of you and connect you with all the opportunities and keep everybody as engaged and excited as possible. So DEI is a major focus for me in my work. So my title is VP of Talent Management and Inclusion, and connecting with groups like Women in Tech and Girls Who Code and Girls in Tech and all of these. Like, I'm really excited to have all these different touch points to be able to share with our different employee resource groups and bring more attention to them and support. So yeah, this is actually the first live meeting that I've been able to attend with Women in Tech. So very excited to be here.
Yay.
And then popping corn.
I think Jane is the last person that we need.
Did Devin already go? Okay.
It was Devin.
That's
Popcorn.
just a note. Is it just a note taker, or is the Devin here?
I don't see Devin.
No, that looks like the note taker. It says Devin's. Oh, wait, it says Devin's AI note taker.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Popping corn to Jane.
Hi, I'm Jane Jackson. I'm a senior software engineer at Qcentrix, which is also a healthcare IT company. I am the communications chair for Women in Technology, and I have been in technology my entire career. I really enjoy our our group, and we are so happy to be here because we have a lot of fun and we do a lot of great things, and we're very excited to meet all of you.
Thanks, Jane.
Thank you, Jane. All right, have we missed anybody?
I don't think so, but I do know since Adriana has to leave soon, I feel we should definitely hear from her real quick. I know, Adriana, you're on a bit of a time crunch, so amidst your construction, we would love to hear a little bit more about your group, what you all do, your impact, and give us a little bit of purview. It'd be wonderful.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for understanding. We're building an ADU and there was some like sewage issues. So anyway, not fun to deal with this late on a Wednesday. But thank you again for inviting us to present. I truly appreciate it. And thanks for your continued support. I think right now is a challenging time for organizations in tech, but nonprofits around the world. This has been quite a difficult and challenging fundraising year for us, in addition to 2023. So I'm sure you all can be sort of empathetic to that plight. So a little bit about the organization that I always like to share in kicking things off. I started the organization in San Francisco in 2007. And the focus was really to meet other women in tech. I was the only woman at a tech startup, which was much like Netflix and YouTube combined. So a little bit before its time, but I was really focused on solving the issue of diversifying the tech workforce, just because I just didn't have women around me. And I thought that was a huge problem, a huge disparity for building products and services that cater to women as well as our male counterparts. And I produced an event in San Francisco in downtown, and to my surprise, over 200 women attended. And it was a great networking event filled with really awesome, talented, engaged women that were really excited about joining an organization, and also networking and being educated. One of the major things I learned that evening back in 2007 was that the women that wanted to be a part of the organization cared about continuous learning and advancing their skills, both to help support their careers, but also to potentially allow them the opportunity of starting their own businesses. And so that was the start of Girls in Tech. And I always knew I wanted the organization to be global, to be international. So we developed a chapter model. So again, launched in San Francisco, then launched in LA, then launched in New York. And the fourth chapter was launched in Kuwait, of all places. And that was because someone from the US Department of State in Kuwait, she read an article in the LA Times about us, and she said, this is definitely something we need in the Middle East. And she was with me for 7 years, which is great. But since then, as mentioned, we've grown to 36 chapters around the globe in 30 countries with over 130,000 active members. And we're really focused in two major areas. One is career development. So supporting with mentorship, job placement, any type of career opportunities and resources to help women develop within their careers. So whether it's enhancing your resume or your online presence or building your online reputation, like all of that is crucial nowadays. But also, and I think more importantly, we're focused on education, skill building, and we do so through our various programs that we've built throughout the last 17 years. So we do programs like technical boot camps, from Python coding and machine learning to UX design, human-centered design, life-centered design. We have a wonderful program called AI Dream Sessions, which is a boot camp on developing AI and new innovations in AI. We also have Power Skills, which is leadership skills for women that are interested in climbing the ladder or building their own business and developing those key leadership skills that are important. We also have hackathons and mentorship programs. We have a global classroom, which is our e-learning platform. We have a startup challenge that is meant to really empower female founders. And we do some training after that, so we can further support them in growing their businesses. We have a lot of other programs as well that we sort of produce on the fly. So we're really, really dedicated to educate women and advance their skills within the tech workforce. But we also care about communities that support these women. So within the chapter model, we provide support from our headquarters to each of our chapter teams that are all volunteer based. So it's typically 2 managing directors and an advisory board team of 5 to 10 people who handle everything from sponsorship outreach to marketing to web development to database management. And they all report back to our team in HQ, which is run outside of our office or in our virtual office in Nashville now. We moved from San Francisco to Nashville 2 years ago, April. And it's been a phenomenal move. So at this point, we're really looking to grow the organization, make an even bigger impact, launch more chapters, grow our membership base, provide more programming that's impactful, as you can imagine. AI is in high demand, cybersecurity is in high demand, blockchain, spatial computing, quantum computing. We're sort of developing all of that and making sure we're continuing to support women in the best that we can, in addition to moving forward with legislation and working with local governments around the world where we have chapters. So I'll stop with that. It's a lot of information. So I don't know if you have any questions or comments.
I have a question. So with the money that you would receive from us, if we selected you, where would that money go?
So right now we're developing 2 programs. Each year we have a calendar of events that we produce, and the 2 programs that we were thinking about applying the funding to is our Women in STEM Summit, which is being held at Vanderbilt's Ingram Hall, and that's on September 12th, so you're all invited. We have an agenda of women representing the STEM fields, very accomplished women. And the whole sort of inspiration behind this concept is for women to get really vulnerable and share their personal stories, trials and tribulations, how they've sort of pulled up their bootstraps and moved forward. And, you know, what is the secret sauce to getting to that level? Because there's so many women that want to be those managers, those directors, those C-level executives, and find it so hard to grasp that reality that you can't be what you can't see concept. So we put together a really diverse panel of, you know, I would say 50 to 60% are BIPOC women within our agenda right now. And we're really looking forward to blowing this out of the water. So we'll probably have about 600 people in attendance, and this is going to be a phenomenal sort of inspirational type of event. The other event that we would apply it to if we receive the funding would be our Startup Challenge, which is also happening on October 17th in Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's a huge ally of ours and provides a lot of their space and services in kind, which is amazing. And this Startup Challenge is a global pitch competition for female founders. And we have our semifinal judging, which takes place online on our judging platform. And they have 3-minute pitches, so a video as well as a PowerPoint. And we have our panel of judges who go through that. They vote, and then the top 10 scored startups are invited to come pitch live, sort of Shark Tank style at the event. The event's really fun. Yeah, we have a keynote, we have a panel discussion, we have a fun MC. Obviously, the pitches are what people come to see, and then we have a VIP cocktail reception. So it'll be a great way to support female founders.
Fantastic. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Other questions for Adriana? All right. You're free.
Adriana, it was wonderful to hear a lot about, you know, your organization and what you're working on. Some of those events sound awesome. Please do share some more information if you have anything on the events. Whoever's nearby or wants to take a flight would probably love to come out.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll definitely send an email out with the links, and obviously we would love to have you there present. So yeah, I mean, you're all invited. Nashville is a great place even to visit, stay a couple extra days and have fun on Broadway.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thanks so much.
Best
Take
of luck with your construction, and we will
thank
keep you
you.
in the loop on the voting.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Have a great evening. Nice to meet you all.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye. Awesome.
All right,
Well,
we'll take a brief break and we'll go back to the start of our agenda. We heard, of course, those two events that Adriana shared with us. Anyone else have announcements to make? Events coming up?
I
that you'd
can
like to
say
share?
that I know that I'm speaking, and it's a pretty large contingency of the television and media entertainment space will be in Denver on June 24th, the week of that, for Stream TV. So it's a lot of advertising, but it's primarily, anything in the streaming space. So it's actually the first show I've been to where it's almost half women. It's not quite, but I mean, when I walked in, it was mind blowing. It was some fantastic thing to see.
that's awesome.
Awesome. Other announcements? All right. So briefly, I'd like to touch on what a giving circle is. We found that that was important in case those of you are, uncertain about how the giving circle actually works. Our giving circle's average donation per member is $52, which is pretty nominal. And we have 225 members. So what that means, if each of you were to commit to a recurring donation each quarter of $52, just $52, we would be able to make awards in the amount of $11,700 each quarter. So a little goes a long way.
Yeah.
So we would have then a potential impact for the year of $46,800. So giving circles have really become very popular. And as I mentioned earlier in our call, Grapevine makes it super easy for you to set up a recurring donation and forget about it. And we'd encourage you, if you haven't done so, to help us with our giving. And our group, what makes our giving circle unique is that we are specifically targeting women in tech and organizations that are helping to further that issue. And you do need to be registered as a 501c3, have some active programs that are, of course, along that area, have solid evidence of your program outcomes, and preferably be a smaller nonprofit, because we like to help the smaller nonprofits if we can. And we have raised this quarter $4,551.17. Our goal that we have set for this quarter is $5,500. So we have $948.90 before we reach our goal for this quarter. So we're almost there, everybody. Any questions? Oh, and I want to share that so far our giving circle has raised $35,000. So we're proud of that. And I already touched on what our difference was in meeting our goal. We're getting there. We're not there yet. And once we meet the 5,500 amount, we're going to raise that goal to 6,000. So we'll continue to increase our goal over time, and maybe we will reach that 11,700 point at some point. And I think Megan's dropping in the chat the link for you to be able to contribute. All right, so without further ado, Elaine, I'm going to let you share with the group, and I can stop sharing my screen because I believe you have a presentation. And Elaine's with Charlottesville Women in Tech. Take it away. Did it stop
Thanks,
sharing?
I'm here. I'm just, I'm pulling up my presentation. So just,
Okay.
thank you so much. Okay. All right. Hopefully you all can see.
Yes.
All right, perfect. Okay, so thank you so much again for having us tonight. Really appreciate being here. Again, my name's Elaine Chang, and as you could tell from the introductions, I'm joined by several members of our board. We're thankful for this opportunity to share with you tonight, and we wanted to start by telling a story. So hopefully this slide advanced. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. So please meet Melissa Phillips. Melissa had a non-technical career and she felt stuck in her role that she didn't love. She was considering whether to change careers. And at the advice of her friends, she came to a Charlottesville Women in Tech meeting. At that meeting, she met women who were participating in the technology field. She met some individuals who were data scientists, and a spark struck. She got to know those individuals. They encouraged her to enter into a program for data science and helped mentor her through that program. And a year later, those same individuals from Charlottesville Women in Tech that she met at that meeting helped her get her first job in a data science organization called GACCRI. But that does not end the story, because I want you to also meet Carolina. Carolina is a second year student at the University of Virginia studying data science. Carolina made it to one of our Charlottesville Women in Tech events. She came to the United States from Colombia, looking for an opportunity and a way to support herself in the data science program. She met Melissa, and Melissa is now mentoring Carolina and helping her get through her program and looking for ways to help support her as she starts to continue or, start her career in data science. And Carolina and Melissa are really what Charlottesville Women in Tech are all about. Charlottesville Women in Tech's mission is to provide resources and, more importantly, human connections for women and girls interested in working in or currently working in technology. Our mission is to close that gender gap we've been talking about all night. And we want to do it one person at a time. The organization was founded actually 10 years ago. This month is our anniversary, our 10-year anniversary. So it's kind of fun to be here with you all. We have had year over year double-digit growth since we started, which I think really speaks to the demand for an organization like ours. We are now currently 1,400 members in our community. So again, I think that really speaks to the growth and the need for organizations like ours. Our programming is 100% free, and we're open to all. We occasionally have meetings that are specific to women or non-binary members, but generally speaking, the organization and meetings are open for everyone. We have about 10 to 12 meetings a year. And those meetings, our programming is varied. Sometimes it's educational. We might give a discussion on design thinking or cybersecurity, but often it's also focused on looking for job, in the industry, goal setting. We had a series on goal setting last year. So we also have several meetings during the year that are social and really just focused on networking and making those human connections. Members come to these sessions to fill their cups, to support their resiliency, to learn, and most importantly, to connect. The CWIT team also supports resources, and we just recently put together a how to get into tech guide, which is on our website and available to all Women in Tech members, but to the general public as well. Women in Tech is also a supporting organization for Tech Girls. Tech Girls started in 2012 by Kim Wilkins, who is you all met a little while ago, with the mission to empower girls to imagine and achieve their future dreams in our tech-savvy world. Kim joined forces with Charlottesville Women in Tech in 2014, and now CWIT is the parent organization for Tech Girls. There are 3 primary programs with Tech Girls. The first is Girls Geek Day. Girls Geek Day is focused on girls K through 14. And importantly, engages high school students to help support those programs and giving those younger girls mentors. Last year, we provided, we had 150 girls aged kindergarten through 5th grade participate in the Tech Girls program and 45 high school students. We also have a middle school program that we started a couple of years ago called Yes We Tech. We know we lose a lot of girls in middle school, and so the programs are really about socializing around tech in a fun way around tech to really create those bonds and continue the encouragement. And finally, there's a high school program that Kim has run for the last couple of years in conjunction with University of Virginia called Biomed Tech Girls. And that program is hands-on experience with biomed tech for girls for those young women in the summer. All of our programs are volunteer. We have our board members are volunteer. There is no staff. So all of the funding that's given to Charlottesville Women in Tech goes right to our programming. There is nothing else that it would go to. Funds, if you decided to invest in us, we would use those funds to support in two primary ways. The first would be to fund those meetings we discussed. The funding for those meetings, we provide food. Typically, we're having them at 5:30 when people are coming out after work. And we do some marketing through social media. And sometimes there's a cost for space. Typically, we can get them for free, but sometimes we need to have them in places that are more convenient for our members and reduce their travel time or cost to park. And so we do take that into consideration. The second way we would use those funds is to relieve some of the burden on our volunteers by allowing us to have a Tech Girls assistant to coordinate those Tech Girl events and the high school students that are volunteering. If we had money left over from that, we would also potentially use that to help fund our participation in some of the local hackathons. We like to provide mentors. We like to be physically present. Sometimes there's a requirement for us to support through some gifts or some sponsorships of awards and so forth, and that would help us participate more. So that is how funding would be used. What happens if you don't fund us? This is kind of what happens. So Charlottesville Women in Tech started 10 years ago, as I mentioned, and it started as a result of, we have a local tech festival called Tom Tom, which is kind of like Austin South by Southwest, a little bit smaller scale, but you get the idea. And 10 years ago at one of their events, they sponsored a Women in Tech happy hour, and hundreds of men showed up and 2 women. And those 2 women are actually on here today, Kim and Eileen. And they found each other, obviously, and said, wait, there's no space for women here. And so we founded Charlottesville Women in Tech and have been going strong ever since then. This picture is from the Tex Mixer promoted at this year's Tom Tom Festival. So you can see that the need for our organization is still there. So we really hope that you can see where the funding would go. So I want to end with just one more story. This is Elise Kane. Elise found herself coming out of college with a liberal arts degree, which was not providing her the opportunities she needed. Elise enrolled in a boot camp program, and she wanted to start her career in tech. She found us at Charlottesville Women in Tech and started coming to events. During that time, she met plenty of mentors that helped her get through her program and also helped her find a new job. 6 years later, Elise is the head of development for a team of developers at an IoT software startup called Memfault. Elise continues to be an active member of Charlottesville Women in Tech, but she also gives her time to Girls Who Code and pays it forward or backwards, I guess, however you want to look at it, by getting involved by mentoring new developers. Elise credits all her success to Charlottesville Women in Tech. We know, and we've heard it tonight, there are a lot of ways that you can invest And we believe in all those ways. But we also know that we make a difference as Charlottesville Women in Tech. And we do that one person at a time. And we certainly hope that we've been able to express that to you, and we thank you for this opportunity. And now I'm happy to take questions, and so are my other board members if they would also, if you have a question for them. Thank you so much.
I don't have any questions. You answered all mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, very informative and wonderful presentation. I love to see the kind of live in action photos from, you all getting together. I think that's amazing. If I lived closer, I would be up there every day. So
Well,
that's
Megan,
so
come on
awesome.
down anytime. Yeah, it was, and we, during the years, as I know, we all know, during COVID, it was hard. We had many meetings online. It was a little bit more difficult. And man, the day we had our first meeting when we could get back together was really, really empowering. And I think the more that firms work from home, the more need there is for a Charlottesville Women in Tech. And we've really seen that demand continue.
Awesome. All right, any other questions for Lane? All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I do want to bring your attention, and Megan will drop the link, that voting is open. It actually has been open, but it's officially open. And you have until actually June 12th, because they cut it off, I think, at like 1:30 in the morning. Grapevine shuts off voting. So try to get all your voting done before June 12th. And the decision will be announced on the 13th. And I want to add that, and I didn't get a chance to tell Adriana this, the person who is not awarded is welcome to come back and present to us. We welcome you back. And one way or another, we'll find a way to try to support you. Over time, we'll try to give money to everybody. All right, so now we're going to hear from Megan. And just briefly, she did a very good job, obviously, introducing herself when we did introductions. But I will add that she has extensive experience advising tier 1 media companies. She combines strategic vision with technological expertise to drive her team's success in a competitive landscape. She is, as she mentioned, passionate about empowering women in tech, and she's dedicated to fostering diversity and inclusion in her industry. She is the VP of the Board of Directors for Women in Streaming Media, the co-chair of Endeavor's Avid ERG, and the VP of Finance for the Spartanburg Junior League. Megan lives in South Carolina with her 2 rambunctious kids. These are her words, not mine. Age 3 and 4. Megan, take it away.
It's so true. And I was saying before the call officially started that, I'm actually at my parents' house now and they're watching the kids. So appreciate the ability to have a little bit of a break. So no, they're fantastic. Just very, we'll say they're not self-sufficient at this age. So thanks for having me. So yeah, I've been in the media industry for over 20 years. I started off as a television reporter, straight out of undergrad, and fell in love with it, really being able to tell stories and just a lot about the content side, right? Like that was really compelling to me. I was recruited into the tech side a few years after, I think my last reporting gig was in Charlotte, North Carolina. And really had to do a lot of learning. There was a huge learning curve from being able to be the creative to the one that's doing the technology behind it. But it also gave me some really good perspective as I went into the media and entertainment field of technology. So thanks so much. I just appreciate you guys asking me to be here tonight. I really want to focus on, I think, the opportunity that the streaming world holds for women in the technology sector. We all know the stereotype of the male-dominated field. I know that I'm often the only one at the table that looks like me. and so it's really important, I think, to not only see where we've been, but where we're going. And the good news for the streaming space is that the lines are really starting to blur. Because streaming services are such a big part of like the entertainment landscape now, they really have to rely on a lot of the cutting edge technology that's out there. And so that's where we can look at, that silver lining, because it's, brimming with opportunity for women like us in tech and becoming leaders in that space. It is such a disruptive space right now. I don't know if you guys saw the latest on Paramount over the last few days, and we've been pitching to them at my day job, and we're trying to do business as usual, but who knows what entities are going to be with what brands in the future. According to Forbes, 99% of US households pay at least for one streaming service. So the industry is going to continue to boom. It's just going to continue to morph. And there's always going to be new players that are constantly entering the market. At least all households are subscribed to at least one service, at least 85% of the US. So it's not really a fad anymore. I think we can say it's really more of a revolution, kind of how we're consuming content. And it's, of course, built on technology. It's kind of funny because we seem to be going back to a way of what we would call kind of a lean back experience, but it's all still so interesting. And I'm so happy I joined when I did. Starting from the traditional broadcast world, going into the streaming space has been just a phenomenal growth experience for me. So where do women sit in all of this? Well, right now, like many others in the tech industry, it lacks a whole lot of gender diversity. In media and entertainment, it's pretty much the same, but the exciting part is that because the industry is growing so quickly, there's just so much potential for women to step into leadership roles, and so that they can start to shape the future of streaming. And I think it goes back to the content side. So we know that great stories come from a huge variety of voices and different perspectives. And the same is true for innovation and technology. So when we as women can take the lead, we bring fresh perspectives and experiences, and even helping lead the creative content into a more engaging streaming experience. So there's just a vast amount of content that's being produced now that wasn't before. People are spending over 3 hours a day streaming by average. Does that seem like a lot? I feel like it seems like a lot, but then I start to binge watch a show and I'll watch several more hours than that in a row.
Like 4 hours, 4 episodes. Yeah. And I when you said one streaming service, 85% of households, I think my household has like 6. So believe me, I lose track because, I have 2 retired parents. So my father and my father-in-law both have health problems, and they have caretakers, and mainly their day is spent enjoying, streaming services. So there's a lot of people, I feel like, throughout our country, they're kind of in that same boat. I'm surprised the number wasn't higher.
I agree. I think that is very conservative, but it is thought-provoking, right? Like the idea that there is a company that, or not a company, but an industry that when I started working was really in its infancy. And now, it's still a bit of the Wild West. And so having like the skills and the, I don't know, like the gusto to step up and to take on those leadership roles, it's the prime time to do that. And the trend is already starting. I mean, we've seen just from the people that just presented that more and more young girls are expressing an interest in tech careers. And so, we need more women at the table. We need them designing the tech that's going to shape, because it's going to shape the way that our children and our friends and our families watch, listen, and connect through the streaming services. There's so much to say about like the technology part of it, like the AI, the machine learning, the predictive analytics, the understanding somebody's propensity to pay X amount for a subscription service versus, this much for like an on-demand type of content, and how to get the dwell time to lengthen so that people are using your streaming service as a destination versus just watching a show and asking where I ask Alexa where the show is. So it's going way beyond all of that. But I think just what I wanted to focus on today was, just the whole idea of like, it's still so very much untapped. And the whole thing that I think I struggled with when I was coming up and I didn't see anybody that looked like me is that I was just afraid to ask for help. I always wanted to look like the executive that I wanted to be. And that always was, a white dude in a suit that was usually ill-fitting. And so that's kind of what I did. But I think my words, at least from my experience, would be don't be afraid to ask for help, because it's a sign of strength. And so, I think just creating more of an inclusive environment where we can, be empowered to innovate is where the future of streaming is. So it's not just about breaking the barriers, but also like things like this, like we're building bridges. So we have the power to really revolutionize that streaming landscape. And we can create content that reflects what we want to see and the richness of, all the things in our world. And that's what tech empowers, which is what's so cool about our industry and why I love it. But it doesn't have to happen alone. So if any of you guys are in the streaming media space, feel free to reach out to me. I dropped my LinkedIn. You're more than welcome to, I'll tell you all about how you can get involved, just so you can be a part of that change. Best practices to sharpen your skills so that when you are asked to speak, the problem is, for me, it was more of a thought leadership was only for the men. And when somebody asked me to present on something in, say, a trade show or conference, I always was hesitant to step forward. But your voice deserves to be heard. And we have programs where there are, kind of learnings and safe spaces to practice and really just give you that confidence to say yes. We also, with my nonprofit that we have in the streaming space, we have a speaker roster. So we're always being contacted by all of the conferences and the tech shows and the different things that are of interest in our industry. And they call and they say, hey, we need diversity on this panel, somebody that can speak on audio RF, and we need them there, next week in Amsterdam. And we're like, let's go check the roster. And then we go through the roster and see who's available. And we were able to pull that out. But usually it's a bit more, I'll say, done in advance and prepared for them. But that speaker roster is something that can help you with your brand. And I think that's what is going to keep us at that forefront. I just think that leadership position for women is so important. There's also, as we've heard before, lots of mentorships in terms of opportunities. So I would just encourage you that if you are in this space to reach out, become a mentor, or even an ally. We do lots of things where folks are able to just come in and speak about their experience. So I'm going to be contacting a few of you guys too, to be able to do that as well. So really just no matter where you sit in the space, the future of streaming is pretty bright. So with creativity and determination, I think that, we can create a future that celebrates our diversity. So thank you so much. I think I just got it at 8 o'clock. So that's pretty
impressed.
good.
That's impressive.
Thanks,
Way to go, Megan.
I'm used to do it, like a 1 minute, to 3 minute stand up and package. So yeah.
There you go. Well done. Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
Definitely. I don't know a ton about streaming, obviously, other than being a consumer. So it's really interesting to see. I know in my investment community, I see a lot of really interesting Series A investments in the streaming space. So definitely a lot of innovation happening. You really kind of sparked my attention to it a little bit more.
Well, let me know. I could talk about this stuff all day long. Yes, and not just, the diversity piece of it, but just like there's so much that you guys are doing and they're doing healthcare. I mean, it could be any industry, but really it's all so aligned in terms of the back end tech. So it's amazing.
Definitely.
Any other questions for Megan? All right. For the sake of saving some time, I'm going to blow through our final slide, which just covers the things that we'd ask you to do when you get a chance. We would encourage you to check out the Grapevine Giving Circle platform if you're not already on there. Make your quarterly donation. Nominate a nonprofit for next quarter. We only had 2 nominations this time. We're always encouraging members to make a nomination. We have a YouTube channel, so you can stay on track with what we're doing. We also have LinkedIn. You can follow us on LinkedIn. We try to post articles, and then of course our events. Invite a friend. If you know somebody who is in the tech space, invite them to be a part as well. And our next quarterly meeting is September 4th, same time, same station. We look forward to seeing you all there. And thank you for participating tonight. Have a good evening.
It's good to see everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.